Avatar Frontiers of Pandora From the Ashes is a bigger deal than I initially thought. The third paid DLC from Massive Entertainment's 2023 movie tie-in offers up a 20 to 25 hour campaign, a new region, and the highly requested third person mode. But what really struck me was a greater sense of what was described as brand synergy. Hello everyone, it's Aidan here from Push Square, and this is my preview for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora From the Ashes. So let's dig into it. So that term, brand synergy, that's what Lightstorm Entertainment's Executive Vice President of Multimedia Development Joshua Izzo said when I flew out to Lightstorm's HQ in LA. There, I got a sneak peek at James Cameron's upcoming Avatar Fire and Ash, which was about as visually mind-blowing as you would expect, as well as some hands-on time with this new DLC. Now, this standalone pack focuses on the previous side character Solek as he tries to take down the villainous Na'vi Ash clan, the big bads from the upcoming movie. It's clear that Ubisoft and Disney are aiming for a more cohesive brand experience, so players will be able to take on the Ash clan in-game the very same day that Fire and Ash drops in cinemas on December 19th. In addition, mentions of specific characters, events, and even the presence of full clans from the movie make this DLC feel like a much bigger event. It's not quite winks and nods like it was in the base game anymore. It's now a cog in the Pandora machine. As an Avatar fan, I loved this sense of narrative cohesion. However, lore and movie tie-ins aside, the thing that I was most amped to try out was the long requested third person mode. Available now as a free update, this third person mode can be played in the main game on top of From the Ashes. Simply put, third person reinvents this game. Massive Entertainment has gone above and beyond to implement a third person mode that feels cinematic, immersive, and most importantly, it doesn't feel like Attack On. Combat is incredibly sharp, especially with its unique kill animations that let you take out RDA mechs in style. And since you can also play the base game in third person too, you can finally check out your customizable Na'vi attire, which was previously only noticeable in third person flying. Now, it's not entirely cohesive, as some interactions like soothing a dire horse will thrust you back into first person. And if you play the base game again, you'll transition to its first person cutscenes with a brief black screen, shattering some of that immersion. There are still some reminders that this was a first person game first, but From the Ashes solves some of these issues with a far more immersive set of third person cutscenes, which are a noted improvement over the base game's first person cutscenes. But the main thing for me is that traversal, combat, and the immersive factor are all top tier with this new third person mode. And if you don't like it, you can just switch back to first person whenever you please. Then that leads me on to the story of From the Ashes. I enjoyed moments of the Frontiers campaign, more the world was the star there, but this is a definite leg up that I think Avatar fans are really going to dig. Now, it's got those typical hallmarks, bad humans trying to pillage Pandora of its resources, but Solek is a much more compelling protagonist. And the story actually sets up 3 big bad Na'vi that must be taken down, giving the whole thing a bit more direction. The Kinglor Forest, an area from the base game, is now scarred as broken branches and tire-treaded dirt tracks replace the once vibrant woodlands. Ubisoft says that the map will also steadily evolve across the From the Ashes campaign, although I imagine that's going to work similarly to the captured bases in the base game, where if you capture it, the nature reclaims it, that kind of thing. Now, a surprising new addition to From the Ashes is boss fights, which were strangely absent from Frontiers. Honestly, I didn't even notice that they weren't in the game till it was mentioned at this event. During my session, which was roughly 90 minutes early on in the DLC, I fought a giant creature and even other Na'vi. While a big deal was made out of these boss fights by the Massive Entertainment developers, I thought they were a bit of a letdown, to be honest. I can't speak for them all, of course, but the ones I did play were rather rinse and repeat with abnormally strong bullet sponge or arrow sponge enemies. The biggest letdown though was the Ash clan enemies. Now, I hope that these would be introduced to the regular roster of enemies, but they seem to be exclusively reserved for boss types. If nothing else, it just feels like a missed opportunity to not have, Na'vi camps to capture. You're still primarily fighting the RDA mechs, and then maybe a Na'vi will show up at the end as a boss, at least from what I can tell from what I've played. There are other attempts to spice up the combat, however. Solek comes with his own set of skills to unlock, which aid him in battle, and he also is equipped with a sort of meter berserk mode. Now this is going to massively amp damage output and defense for a short time, which can be great fun as you just tear through armored RDA mechs. There are also new mech variants and a sort of robot dog just to shake things up a little bit more. In conjunction with the third person mode then, I still really enjoyed enemy encounters as I jumped around, weaving in and out of stealth, and switching through the arsenal of weaponry at hand. It's a really fun combat system in third person. The big but of this preview is that the whole thing was played on PC, so jury's still out on how this will pan out on PS5. I did use a DualSense controller, so I can say that the haptics are still as excellent as they are in the base game. And while I never had any performance or visual issues on PS5 before, outside of a sketchy PS5 Pro update, I'll need to wait for the full release to check back on performance. Sadly, that's just the nature of previews, it's almost always PC builds. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora From the Ashes is a sneakily ambitious DLC. It's got an expansive campaign that feels more tied to the wider world than ever before, with meaningful changes to combat, albeit missed opportunities with its Na'vi enemies. The icing on the cake is the third person mode, which for me just massively improves the experience. I wouldn't play the game any other way now. There is a lot of ifs and buts to address with the full release, like how's the narrative going to unfold? How deeply will it tie into the wider Avatar experience? How does it run on the PS5? And there's even a whole new area in the DLC that I didn't get to see beyond concept images. But as it stands, From the Ashes is an exciting next step in an ever-expanding and evolving sci-fi world that's a delight to explore on PS5. And the new third-person mode is a perfect excuse to check out the base game if you haven't already. So Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora From the Ashes drops on December 19th, and the third person mode is available as soon as this video goes live, so you can check it out right now. Let me know if you're interested in either of these, the DLC or the third person mode, down in the comments below, and while you're there, consider subscribing to the channel for more video content just like this. Anyway, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.